All right, 10:47, welcome back. So, Fireman Rob, he's joining us this morning with this new display of beautiful books for kids. At first, Fireman Rob, you started with adults, and now you're shifting to the younger generation. So before we talk about your books, let's talk about you and your background.
Oh boy. So I've been a fireman for City of Madison, Wisconsin for 25 years now. I did search and recovery at September 11th, and I'm an Air Force veteran. And I also do something a little nuts. I do races in full fire gear. Oh. Since 2011, I've done 23 full Ironmans, not the swim portion because otherwise I'd drown. Yeah. But on the run portion, full fire gear, 31 half Ironmans and a multitude of marathons. And
wow.
I only have 2 world records. That's the only problem.
You hold
only 2?
I know. Only I'm sorry.
Wow.
This isn't unbelievable. You've done a full marathon in full fire gear.
Yeah.
No way.
Actually,
that is absolutely insane.
So in November, I did 24 hours in full fire gear, and it's all to support mental health for first responders. But I did 50 miles in California. That was the world record there.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. Okay, I'm blown away here. You have an inspirational message, though, that you've been spreading. How did you, because you've been a firefighter for 25 years, obviously you have interests outside of your day-to-day work.
Right.
How did you get started with that?
So in 2011, I was kind of lost after going to September 11th. I was 23 years old, and didn't really have that meaning or purpose behind where I was living. And Ironman Wisconsin came around, and I was like, you know, I want to do something through my actions, not just through my words. And I couldn't have thought of a better way, but I did that when in full fire gear for the run portion. And the motivation behind it, the pain that I felt that day, made me feel alive. And then I kind of crafted a message and started speaking and doing more races, and I really found that my strength was in my passion, and I needed to live it, and that's how I got through my mental health journeys.
Okay. So speaking of your journey with this mental health message, we just mentioned how you started with adults. So you wrote a book for adults first. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I have 2 books that I wrote for adults, Forged in the Fires. It's 7 catalysts that I talk about. And then there's a second one that we can't show on the screen. But it's Fighting for Tomorrows. The second book that I wrote really was a 10-year process. There's many times I didn't want to publish it because it was a lot of personal stories. And really it's about my mental health journey, my being able to accept that I had a struggle, being able to confront the pain, but then at the same time getting onto the other side and finding that mental strength that I needed to have to just get through a day, get through an hour. Because a lot of people who have mental health journeys, they don't see the next month, they don't see the next year. They have to see the next hour, and that's really who I wrote it for.
So you have struggled with mental health issues yourself in the course of your life, and this is your way of not only it's self-healing, but you're also helping other people.
Right, and it's one of those journeys that never ends.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what a lot of people, they're like, oh, you're better. It's like, well, today. Tomorrow may be a different story, and so that's where a lot of people have to know that they're not alone in this struggle.
We were taking a look at some shots here. One of them was X-rays of what looked like knees.
Yes.
What was the story behind these images?
So I've abused my body plentifully.
Sounds like
I have a partial knee replacement. So in 2023, I had a partial knee replacement because I was bone on bone.
Oh God.
And so I wasn't able to follow my passion. I wasn't able to go through my passion because I couldn't move without pain. And when you're in mental health crisis, the pain doesn't help you any. It just exacerbates everything worse. And so I got this great Smith & Nephew knee, partial knee, that gave me the opportunity. I've done 30 races since then.
On the knee?
On the knee.
Good for you.
And so it's given me back my life. And I think that's what's so powerful is like, we have these opportunities. You have to take them by the reins and just go after them.
Amazing.
So you're speaking about exercise as one of your coping mechanisms for mental health, which I'm with you. Mental health is literally everything.
Yes.
Can you give us some other tips, advice, things that we should incorporate in our own life to help our mental health that you've learned over the years?
Definitely. I think it starts small. It starts with appreciation of little things that happen in the day. We have an acronym that we use for the Fireman Rob Foundation called SMILE. Simple moments impact lives every day. And it's so true, definitely in the mental health framework of if you can just get up and be appreciative of just one thing. You don't have to be appreciative of the whole day, of your whole life, everything that's happened. Just one thing. Just find one thing. And that'll help you to get to the next moment. And I think the biggest thing that I found in my life was finding what I'm passionate about. It's not going to be the same thing throughout time, but we have to sit there and reflect on it a little bit more than we do and find out what you're passionate about, because that's what you're going to contribute to the world as well as to yourself.
I'm thinking of a guest we had on just yesterday. She was specifically really interested in sourdough baking. Yeah. She like made a little video, it exploded, and she's got this insane business now that's grown. But that's exactly what you're talking. Like, she found her passion. It's a very specific thing. You also talk not only about passion, but this whole series. You have books geared toward children. This one's about self-worth. We have resilience here. We have attitude control.
That's a great one for adults too.
I mean, I could probably use the attitude control from time to time. Front. But what inspired this series? 1, 2, 3. There's 7. Is this just a children's version of the 7 catalysts?
Actually, I have 10 of them, and the whole premise behind it. I have 3 kids. I have 2 stepdaughters and my son, and I always wanted to have that basic conversation with them, because there's so much conversation or books that have like stories behind them, and I don't really get to the point and speak that same plain language that's important to have with the kids. And so this was my version of that, and I put it out. My kids are all older now, but it's the same message whether you are an infant who just needs to hear the words respect or hear the words resilience, or an adult who also needs to hear it too. So it's a great conversation piece is what I wanted to have it be between a child and a parent.
I love this. I feel like this would be useful in schools. Do you sell this as like a packet?
Yeah, so the great thing is that so they're all for sale. We also donate a lot to schools as I travel around the country. The other great thing is not all schools can afford it. So what I always tell them is reach out to the Fireman Rob Foundation. They can go to firemanrob.com and find a way to reach out to me. I have an online version that I give out for free, because this is more about the impact of life and the impact that it can have. And I was out in Riverside when I did the 50-mile leisurely stroll. And we had a school out there that actually gave the code out to all their kids so they could have it at home and have those conversations.
Oh, that's great. So, that's great. What age range is this geared toward? I've got a 4-year-old who might not be ready for some of this, but a 9-year-old that for sure could probably.
The age range, and that was always the big thing with kids' books. What's your age? It's everywhere from just born to 18 years old, because the way that you talk about it as a parent to your child, whether it's a 4-year-old or a 9-year-old, is important. Whether they understand what you're saying right away, or they hear the repetition of that word, of grit, of passion. If they hear that repetition, as it gets farther down in their life, they're going to actually understand that a lot more than if they never heard those words at all. So
let's look back to your adult books in case maybe somebody who's watching doesn't have kids. You mentioned how you had PTSD from 9/11, and then you dove into your mental struggles. If someone hasn't had that experience, if they're not a first responder, do you think they're still going to connect with your book?
It is. Trauma is trauma. And I think whether you've had one traumatic incident or you've had 50 or 1,000 like most first responders, the path is the same. It's if you can accept that you have a struggle, that you have something that you're trying to work through. And then after that, once you start to confront that pain in many different ways, from therapy to running like we had talked about, or from talking to people, actually starting to talk to other people, not a therapist, but just other people, you can start that journey on your own. And it doesn't matter if it's one time or it's a multitude of traumatic incidents. The path I've found is similar, and being able to travel the globe and talk to people about it, it's just one of those things that you're like, your path is no different than mine. We're all in this together.
Yes.
In addition to identifying the problem and facing it, like you just said, you also said practicing gratitude. Finding one thing you're thankful for each and every day is a good strategy as well. Anything else that you would suggest to an adult who maybe be joining in right now who could be having a hard time, especially this time of year? We all get down in the dumps this time of year.
I think one of the big things, it's a hard step to start talking about it, right? A lot of times we can just start to write it. if you can write it down. Just write down your things, because it's funny, when I go to my therapist, a lot of times I have a good day and I'm like, I don't want to talk about the bad things. But I'll have all these things written down that I want to talk about, that I can bring up or I can't bring up, whichever it is. But you have those bad moments, and a lot of times those bad moments come at 2 a.m. in the morning. Nobody's awake. And you don't want to wake up anybody.
You don't want to feel alone. Journaling kind of makes you feel like you're talking.
Exactly. And you have your to-do list. It's no different than what we do for groceries. It's like, oh, remember bananas.
Yes.
The same thing goes.
Get it out of your brain and put it on the paper.
Exactly.
Last question. I'm seeing a lot of pictures of you in schools. If there's a school that's watching, I know you're local, kind of, Madison, Wisconsin.
I travel.
Okay, so people can reach out to you. Maybe you could do a little school visit here in Chicago.
I would love to do that. I mean, the greatest thing that I've been given in this life after going through a lot of the struggles is the ability to help maybe shape one life. And that's all we can hope for in this life.
All right.
Thank you so much, Fireman Rob. Sorry.
No worries. I haven't graduated to that yet. I've got something special for both of you. These are challenge coins.
Okay.
And on the back, there's a special statement.
Nice weight to them.
You can read that.
The strongest people fight battles you know nothing about. That's right.
True.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Forged in the Fires. Fireman Rob, where can people follow along with you?
They can go to firemanrob.com. They can find out way too much about me and about all of the different things that I'm into right now. And definitely the participation of getting books in the hands of children, as well as having adults be able to read the books, is a great thing.
I love it.
Thank you so much for being here. We'll bring this home.
Yeah.
Show it to my kids.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Fireman Rob. All right.